Each and every roller coaster here in the UK has a unique quality. In fact, there's a few, especially over at the Alton Towers resort, which are UK and Europe record breakers, and you'll even find some world's firsts where theme parks have gone above and beyond to bring us guests the best ride experiences. But by building such extravagant coasters, it of course comes at a cost. So, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 most expensive roller coasters in the UK. Before we get started, if you do enjoy watching this video, then please hit that like button to let me know, and if you are new around here and you're feeling extra cheeky, then consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing, because we make plenty of theme park and adventure videos which you don't want to miss. Number 5. The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man is a fantastic roller coaster which can be found at the Alton Towers resort. It's currently the park's most recent coaster, although this won't be the case for too much longer. This roller coaster, which was originally codenamed Secret Weapon 8 during construction, replaced the former ride The Flume, which was a much loved family log flume. Alton Towers are known for introducing world's first roller coasters, and the Wicker Man was no different. This was the first coaster to infuse wood with fire, and it was also the first wooden coaster to be built in the UK in 22 years. This is the only ride in the top 10 to be manufactured by Great Coasters International, or GCI for short, and they did an incredible job of building one of the UK's best and most popular roller coasters. By incorporating such elements as fusing wood with fire, and also building that giant Wicker Man structure, the ride ended up costing approximately £16 million. It's a lot, but this ride is amazing and a must whenever you visit the Alton Towers resort. Number 4. Icon. At number 4 we have Icon, a launch coaster manufactured by Mack Rides. This coaster has been operating since 2018 and is up there as one of the UK's best roller coasters. In fact, some, including myself, rank this as their number 1. It's an incredible ride filled with plenty of airtime, and the ride length of 2 minutes and 41 seconds makes this ride stand out even more compared to the others in the UK. In 2022, they introduced Enso, where they replaced the last trade on Icon with a spinning car, making this roller coaster even more exciting. That's if you're willing to pay the £15 to £25 upcharge to experience it. With a ride time so long and some great elements including one inversion, this roller coaster ended up costing £16,250,000. But with it being one of the most loved and favourites in the whole of the UK, I'd say it's money well spent. There are other rides out there that will give you the same or a similar coaster experience, but here in the UK, it is very unique. Number 3. The Smiler and Sick. Up next we have 2 roller coasters, both of which you will come off feeling rather nauseous, because these 2 have the most loops and inversions in the UK. First, let's talk about Sick. This is a new roller coaster which can be found at Flamingo Land in Yorkshire. Now, this unusual name is in reference to the fashion label Sick Silk, but it's not just the name which makes this coaster stand out. This steel roller coaster manufactured by Intamin has 10 inversions, including a loop, a cobra roll, a double corkscrew, and a heartline roll. This now shares the second place with Colossus at Thorpe Park as the most loops and inversions in the UK, and it's only beat by one coaster, the Smiler. Now, the Smiler over at Alton Towers doesn't just hold the UK record, it holds the world record with a stomach-churning 14 inversions. I won't go through all 14 inversions, however let's just say you spend the majority of the 2 minutes 45 second ride time upside down. This roller coaster is one of the most loved rides in the UK. It's by far one of the best that the UK and the world has to offer. You won't find any ride quite like it out there. It is truly special. Both Sick and the Smiler having so many different elements and inversions, it's obvious that these 2 were not going to be cheap. Each cost approximately £18 million. Have you taken a ride on either of these coasters? If so, which one? And let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Number 2, The Swarm. At number 2 we have a truly unique roller coaster which can be found at Thorpe Park. I'm talking about the Swarm. Now, not only is this coaster one of the smoothest, scariest and best themed rides in the UK, what makes the Swarm so special is that it is the UK's only winged coaster. That means that you sit on each side of a track like wings, rather than on top or underneath the track. Straight away, that first drop inverts in on itself, making a half loop, and after this you glide through 3 more inversions and experience a G-force up to 4.5 Gs. The theming around the Swarm is amazing. It has the whole alien invasion theme which they pull off really well. Even the station building is a destroyed church, and the ride-ups are inside an overturned police van. As you go around the track you go through near-miss elements, including going through a billboard. It's by far one of the best coaster experiences in the UK. It's a ride that cannot be missed if you visit the Thorpe Park Resort. However, a ride of this standard comes at a hefty price. The Swarm cost a total of around £20 million. But honestly, it is worth every penny, because it's one of the most loved coasters, not just at Thorpe Park, but in the whole of the UK. Before we get on to number 1, up there with the top most expensive roller coasters in the UK, but didn't quite make the top 5, was 13 at Alton Towers, which cost £15 million. Colossus and Soar the Ride, which both can be found at Thorpe Park, cost £13,500,000. So even though they didn't make the top 5, they still were not cheap to build at all. But the money was well spent, as they are arguably up there as 3 of the UK's most loved coasters. Number 1, the Odyssey. So number 1 might surprise you. It surprised me. But the most expensive roller coaster in the UK by a long shot is the Odyssey at Fantasy Island. This coaster cost £8 million more than the Swarm, coming to a total of £28 million, which is a huge price to pay for an amusement park of this size. Fantasy Island is a seaside park on the Ingold Mells coast. Here you can find numerous different attractions, and they regularly change and introduce new rides too. It's classed as an amusement park rather than a theme park, as there are no themed areas, and being a seaside amusement park, it's also quite small. So you would have expected the most expensive coaster to be at one of the major theme parks which we've mentioned already in this video. So why was the Odyssey so expensive? Well, this coaster, built by Vekoma, is their tallest suspended looping coaster in the whole world. This means that you go through those loops and inversions underneath the track. Not only that, it's also currently the 3rd tallest roller coaster in the UK, and the joint 2nd tallest full circuit inverted roller coaster in the whole world. The Odyssey reaches speeds up to 63 miles per hour, and you reach forces up to 4.8 Gs. So, as you can tell, it's pretty intense. Although it's surprising that the Odyssey is more expensive than the likes of the Smiler and the Swarm, with almost 3,000 feet of twisted steel and world's first elements, it makes sense as to why. So there we have it, the top 5 most expensive roller coasters in the UK. There's also 2 coasters in development at Thorpe Park and Chessington World of Adventures, one being Project Exodus, which will be the UK's tallest roller coaster at 236 feet. This new coaster will cost around £18 million. And there's also Chessington's new Jumanji themed coaster, which will cost around £17 million. Have you experienced any of the coasters on this list? And if so, which one's your favourite? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching this video, then be sure to go check out some of my other videos too, such as the top 10 theme parks and attractions for families in the UK, or you could maybe even check out some of my vlogs too from UK theme parks, such as Alton Towers. Along with my past videos, there will be plenty more videos to come this year, so be sure to stay tuned for all of those. But until then, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.